Did you know that deep in the wilderness of Alaska, there are places where people simply vanish? Hunters, explorers, and hikers have all reported strange experiences in these remote forests. But the most disturbing reports all have one thing in common: perfect circles on the ground. Circles made of footprints or stones, appearing in places where no one should be. And sometimes the people found inside these circles come back, but they are never the same again. Tonight, we are going to explore one of the most disturbing wilderness incidents ever reported: the beginning. This story begins with a wildlife officer named Daniel Kovich. Daniel had been working in the remote regions near the Brooks Range for more than 13 years. His job was simple in theory: check hunting licenses, respond to wildlife conflicts, and search for people who get lost in the wilderness. Most cases were routine, but one call would change everything. The missing hunter. One cold morning, Daniel received a radio call from dispatch. A hunting group had reported that one of their friends had gone missing. The man's name was Marcus Henley. He had stepped away from their campsite the night before to check nearby game trails. He told his friends he would be back in 30 minutes, but he never returned. The camp was located about 160 miles northeast of Fairbanks, deep inside one of the most remote areas of Alaska. Temperatures at night were already dropping below freezing. If Marcus was injured or lost, he didn't have much time. The search. Daniel took a helicopter to the area. When he arrived at the campsite, everything seemed normal. The tents were still standing, food was left near the fire pit, and there were no signs of a struggle. But Marcus was gone. Daniel soon found footprints leading away from the camp. He followed them into the forest. At first, the tracks looked normal, but after a while, something strange happened. The strange tracks. The footprints began to change. Some of them looked like Marcus had been walking backward. Others suddenly turned at sharp angles. It looked less like someone walking and more like someone trying to confuse whoever might be following them, or perhaps someone who was running from something. The first discovery. After nearly an hour of tracking, Daniel found something hanging from a tree branch. It was Marcus's jacket, but it wasn't torn or caught on the branch. It was carefully placed there. And in the freezing Alaskan wilderness, no one removes their jacket unless something is very wrong. The clearing. Soon, Daniel reached a small open area in the tundra, and that's where he found Marcus. He was standing in the middle of the clearing, barefoot, without a shirt, shivering violently in the freezing wind. But the most disturbing part, Marcus wasn't moving. He was staring straight ahead at something in the distance, something Daniel couldn't see. The words. When Daniel approached him, Marcus finally spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. He said only one sentence: "They're still waiting." Daniel asked him what he meant, but Marcus didn't answer. He simply kept staring into the distance. The circle. Then Daniel noticed something terrifying. In the soft ground around Marcus, there was a perfect circle of footprints, exactly 12 sets of prints, evenly spaced. But there was only one person in the clearing: Marcus. The escape. Daniel immediately called the helicopter pilot and requested evacuation. Marcus was taken to a hospital and eventually survived, but he was never the same again. He later told doctors that he had followed strange lights into the wilderness,
lights that moved in patterns. And inside the clearing, he said there were figures standing in a circle around him, watching, waiting. The pattern. Months later, another hunter was found in almost the exact same condition, same area, same strange behavior, and once again, there was a circle of footprints, 12 of them. A dark history. While researching the area, Daniel discovered something disturbing. In 1923, a geological expedition had reported strange lights moving across the same ridge. Several members of the expedition had wandered away from camp during the night. They were later found suffering from hypothermia and severe confusion. None of them could explain what happened. Ending. To this day, no one knows what creates those circles. No one knows what the strange lights really are, and no one knows what Marcus saw standing around him in the darkness. But many locals still avoid that region of Alaska, because sometimes the wilderness is hiding things we are not meant to understand. Outro. If you enjoy mysterious and dark history stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comments, what do you think was really in that circle? Because the truth might be far more disturbing than we imagine.